Hey all, and welcome back to Fuzzy Ducksy Gaming. So I'm releasing two videos side by side, one on how to make AD in Mod 16 and this one which is how to utilise and level up your ults in Mod 16. So ults in Neverwinter have always played a really important part of grinding and AD making. This was impacted massively when salvage was removed from the game and when our refining changed from per character to account bound. So for all that don't know, you used to be able to salvage epic gear that you got for 4,500 rough AD each, and you were also able to refine up to 30,000 rough astral diamonds per character. There was no limit on your account, so if you had 30 ults and you wanted to go on 30 of those and refine, you could refine 30,000 AD on each individual character. But then they introduced a limit of 100k per account, and that still stands today. Now, ults have kind of taken a backseat in the last few mods because of these changes, but with the introduction of legacy campaigns and master expeditions with runes, they've kind of increased more reason to play ults, and that kind of goes hand in hand with the increased difficulty of advanced queues. Ults can once again play a good role in creating AD for your account. So my AD making video explains how best to utilise your ults to make that extra AD. This video more goes into how and why to level them up and how to kit out your ult. So the first thing to note before we start is that you get 3 character slots on a new account, and you should definitely have 3 level 80 characters taking up those slots. I would recommend making them all different just so you've got a bit of variety when you play. It's also not a bad option to make your ults tanks or healers because you can take advantage of the class bonus for the intermediate queue. Second thing I mentioned before we begin is that I know we're always bleating on about bondings being the most important thing in the game, and that is 100% true for your main character, and it's even more relevant when you've got alt characters. And the reason being is that it doesn't cost you any gold to remove your bonding runestones in Mod 16. It's free to do so. What this allows us to do is pass them between characters at no cost. We can also do this with the rings that we pick up in expeditions or from the seal store. These are bound to account, so again we can pass these on to other characters. Now I make it a habit of mine when I finish a session on a character, I will remove the bondings and I will remove the rings and stick them into my shared bank. So I know that when I go on I can withdraw the items and then I can benefit from all the additional stats that those items are going to give me. Now this bit's kind of a spoiler, as I'm about to show you a fresh level 70 character that I started working on 2 weeks ago as part of a guide, which was a level 70 to endgame guide. Now this is at the end of the second week of play, and at the moment my video series is only at the end of the first week. So as you can see, I've got rank 10 and 11 bondings slotted, and the character's already 19k. They've completed quite a lot of master expeditions, they've got their alabaster set, they've got lots of good gear. So when I put my main tunes, rings and bondings on that character, it puts him over 20k. Now this shows how easy it is to get a fresh character to a level that can complete really all of the solo content in the game fairly easily. So what we're going to look at now is how I got the character to that stage so quickly and the best ways to do that. So obviously the first part of any ult is getting your character up to 70. As this isn't the first time we're doing it, our goal is to do this as quickly as possible. So you want to finish your intro campaign as soon as you're able to. You want to slot your guild XP boon and then start questing as normal. When you get to around level 15 or 20 is when you're able to slot helmets, gloves and boots that have utility enchant slots. When you pick these items up, put them on, get some Azure enchantments and put them into your boots. Rank 8s are fine, they cost next to nothing but they still give you a really good boost to XP. If you get to early 20s and you haven't had any of these items drop, I would recommend buying them from the auction house because they save us a lot of time, and the sooner we equip them, the sooner we're going to get to 70. The other thing I would say, as soon as you hit level 12 and you get access to your daily queue, I would 100% do that, along with collecting the cleric quest from the stronghold, because again that's another good boost to your XP source. So the last thing really in terms of leveling to 70 is you want to be leveling in the highest level zone you can, because the higher the zone, the more XP you get for completing quests and killing enemies. So you're normally able to start a zone when you're 2 levels below that requirement. It does sometimes affect you because sometimes a zone will have maybe a level 40 start, but there's actually a level 41, 42 and 43 quests within there. So if you go too quick, you can actually finish some of the content before the next is available. It's quite rare, but it does happen. But you should be okay going 2 zones below. When you get to that stage, you just need to go to Protector's Enclave, to Sergeant Knox, and he should give you the intro quests to the zone that you're able to visit. The other thing I would do when leveling, and I would do this as soon as possible, is get an epic companion equipped and leveled up as you go along. If you already have a companion, either an account bound one or you've got spare ones, use those. If not, buy an Energon off the auction house because they're really cheap. So if you do these few steps, it's really, really quick to get to level 70. And as soon as you get to 70, you want to go to Protector's Enclave, speak to Sergeant Knox, or sorry, just behind him, there's the quest that you pick up for the Undermounting campaign. Pick that up, go to the Awning Portal, complete the quick event there, and then open the chest and equip all your gear that you get. So your goal from here is you should have your companion leveled up. So equip your bondings from your main character and equip the campaign gear that you get out of the starter chest. You then want to go and level to 80 as quickly as possible, and the quickest way to do that is to start the Undermounting campaign. Once you get to 80, you can then slot the rings that you've passed over from your main character, and this should make it really, really easy to complete the Undermounting quest line. I'll come back to the Undermounting quest in a moment. I'll just mention one thing you want to do as soon as you hit 80 is you'll see Sabella pop up and give you some spiel about having visions and come and see her at Protector's Enclave. Go and do that as soon as you're 80 and that will give you the access to the legacy campaigns. I won't go through these in detail, but you get 3 quests a week that give you campaign currency, but they also give you medallions that you can buy pretty decent stuff with from her. Now the stuff is bound to account, but there's ways to use these to turn them into actual AD, which I'll cover in my other video. The other thing to mention about the legacy campaigns is that you can keep collecting them week on week and they'll stack up. So it's not like if you go and collect 3 and don't finish them, if you go to her, it's not like you can't then collect another 3. As long as the quests are different, which have been different every week so far on console, then you can stack these up. I've got 12 quests sitting on a lot of my alts because I haven't had time to play them. But if I do get time where, you know, I'm getting a bit bored of Lair of the Man Mage, I want to start prepping for mod 17, then I can go and complete all of those quests and start stacking up the rewards. So even if you don't have time to complete these quests, go and get them on your character anyway. So now we go and we finish our Undermounting campaign. We'll get through that. We'll slot the companion gear. I personally would buy some rank 9 empowered runestones to slot in your gear. A, because they're dirt cheap, and B, because we're putting our main character's bondings in, we're going to get a high percentage of those stats transferred over. So once we've done that, finished the campaign, we're now easily a good enough level to handle Master Expeditions. So you just start really your routine as you would on your main character. You'd log in every day, you'd do your 3 Master Expeditions with people, you'd get gear from that, weapons from that, get your character leveled as high as you can. But that's as far as I go. I don't need my character to be any better. I don't need boons. I might go and do some weeklies in the campaign zones for AD, but I've got my character where I need him to be to do what I want him to do. And that is to complete Master Expeditions and the Legacy campaigns. And we can do both easily. So now all I'll do, I don't play him every day because I don't have time, and I doubt you will either. But whenever you get spare time, you've done what you need to on your main, and you want to earn a bit of AD or some currency or some refining stones, then you can hop on your ult, complete some Master Expeditions, complete some Legacy campaigns, and as I say, it might take 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Only do it when you've got time to do that. And as I said, I won't take this character any further. That's what he's there for. They are handy though, if for whatever reason your class gets ruined in the future and you really don't want to play them anymore. You've got your ult set up, so actually it's not too much work to start working on that character. Yes, you've got to get new companions and some boons, but you've got them up to a decent level. They've at least up to date with the campaign. You can send all your enchantments from your main character to your ult, and you can work it that way. You might even get to a point in mod 16 where you've actually done everything you want to on your main. You're not getting any benefit from keeping playing that. So you may just take a hit of say 50 gold and go and unequip all your runestones, all your enchantments, send them over to your ult and start leveling them. That's the other good thing about the legacy campaigns. You get campaign currency as you go along. So yeah, even though you're not actually questing, you're getting campaign currency that enables you to start working towards those boons. As your character progresses, you may decide I don't need AD on my ult. I just can't be bothered spending the time to get more AD. Just use them for your legacy campaigns and your currency and start stacking those medallions up, because we know Neverwinter, we know Cryptic. Things are going to change in the future. Suddenly, these enchantments aren't going to be best in slot, these are. And these companions aren't going to be any good anymore, but these are. If we're stacking up those medallions, it gives us a free source of companion tokens and enchantments. Now that's kind of all I wanted to go through. I just wanted to give people an idea of how I level my ults up, how I set them up, and what I use them for. Last thing I would recommend is if you play the game a lot and you've got a lot of time, you can't really have too many ults. So when there's leveling events, for example, where you might get really good gear and really good rewards from leveling up ults, when there's a sale, buy more character slots. They're dirt cheap for 2 character slots. If you level 1 during an event, it takes no time at all and you can get some really decent stuff for them. But that's kind of it for this video. As I say, use this video alongside the how to earn AD video, and then I will catch you in the next video. Thanks for watching.